I've been living in the Netherlands a long time. People always tell me the same thing. I knew you were originally American because you're fat and you're loud. Well, I'll tell you what, when I moved to Amsterdam 22 years ago, I was only loud. Yeah, I wasn't also fat. No, that happened because I asked Dutch people, how is it that you got all big and tall like you do? And they say the same thing. Eat our food, you'll grow big and tall. I grew outwards. Apparently it does not work after 22. Yeah, tricky that. And they always say to me, no, but we ride a bicycle everywhere. I ride a bicycle everywhere. Yeah? I actually run a bicycle tourism business back in Amsterdam. I cycle nearly 40 kilometers every single day. Yeah, I know, right? It is on an e-bike, though. Starting to see where the problems come in. You know, like many people, though, of course, I gained a lot of weight during the pandemic because I learned that I could drink 2 bottles of wine if I stayed home and started it in the morning. And after the pandemic, I thought maybe this is ridiculous. Maybe I should go to the gym and I should lose some weight. And all my lovely friends said to me the same thing. But you're still a good person. I was like, yeah, I didn't say I ate children in the pandemic. I didn't think I became morally corrupt. And the problem is, when you go to the gym, as a fat woman, as an older woman, you get these looks. You get looks like this. What are you doing here? And I'm like, wait, what? This is where I'm supposed to be. What are you doing here? You have muscles. Go outside. You know what I mean? The gym's not so bad. The problem with the gym is everyone else in the gym. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The guys with the big biceps and the muscles and the necks and everything, they're like, curls get the girls. You know the type, curls get the girls. The ones with the really tiny penises. You know, the from the steroids. You know what I mean? Look, if I wanted to lick a clitoris, I'd date women. That's all I'm saying. And then you get the women who are like, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. Oh, I'm like, bitch, everything tastes better than that. You know, pizza, burgers, crumbs from my tits. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, you get it. You got a beard. You know when you reach for that beard, you're like, ooh, more popcorn. Ladies, you get home at night, you take that bra off, you're like, woohoo, I have one more treat. Yeah. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's fantastic. But yeah, I do live in the Netherlands, but I've been there for a very long time, and I always get asked the exact same question. You live in the Netherlands, don't you miss your family? And I always say the same thing. Nope. People are like, how can you say that? And I'm like, oh, I met them. See, you don't have the benefit of having met my family. I don't look a lot like my family. My family are Italian and Norwegian, and most of them look like they wandered out of a mafia movie, and they're all like Nicky, Mikey, Sonny, Salvadori, and I came out like this, kind of plump and blonde originally when I was younger. And my brother would say to me, "You're adopted," and that hurt me deep inside when I was young. And then I grew up, and they all voted for Trump. I was like, yeah, well, I was adopted. Now. I'm not here to tell you that everyone who votes differently from you is terrible, but this is what I want you to understand about my Trump-supporting father. When Trump became president, my dad said to me, good, now you women can learn that you don't deserve to get paid the same as men. I know, and I showed him I became a comedian. To prove to him that not getting paid has nothing to do with my gender. Take that, Dad! But after Trump became president, I went ahead and became Dutch. And it's a very interesting process. It's true. I have a Dutch citizenship now. And it's an interesting process. You take some exams, and you have to wait after you pass all the exams, and the final approval is the king lets you become Dutch. He signs you in. And I was worried, because I once insulted the king to his face back when he was prince. And I was nervous. He'd say, no, not that one. She's not allowed in. And I was like, oh, no. My Dutch friends were like, oh, no, don't worry. You're going to get it because you're, like, super direct. Like, thanks, that's not how immigration works. You can't wander into other people's countries, adopt their cultural stereotypes, right? You can't put board shorts, flip-flops on, wander in Australia, be like, good day, I'm here from Australian, right? Can't ride your moose into Canada, do a shot of maple syrup, and be like, I'm sorry, I'd like to become Canadian. No, right? Can't take your daughter to Austria, just like lock her in a basement. Is that the dark one? Can I do one more dark one before I get out of here? Do you promise? Okay. That's consent. That's how that works. See, gentlemen? You can't take a severed head of a journalist to Saudi Arabia. No, that's how we're ending. My name is Kendra. Thank you so very much. Have a great night.